and welcome to The Next Chapter, a video blog where we'll be exploring ideas, spiritual practice, as well as the existential questions of being and purpose. Today, I want to continue in the theme of hope, especially in the time of COVID. We'll begin with the poem by Emily Dickinson, Hope is a Thing with Feathers. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. While fleeing oppression and social and religious intolerance, the founders of this great nation landed on the eastern and southern shores with dreams of freedom and visions of a better tomorrow, with hopes for a better day. They had the great anticipation of boundless discoveries and opportunities that they believed awaited them in the new world. And it was accepted that each person could pursue his or her own dream, his or her own vision. This was the hope that propelled them forward. I'm thinking of Jesus and Muhammad, peace be unto them, great leaders of their day who gave hope to their followers. For Jesus, it wasn't the religious order or spiffy advertisement that drew thousands out to a hillside to hear a carpenter preach. It was the common folk in their everyday lives who simply shared a newfound hope with people who were suffering, that feared their tomorrows. They spread the word, come and see a man who offered hope. Even great leaders of our day, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and others had dreams and hopes for a better tomorrow. Perhaps we should take a minute to look carefully at the word hope, as it is the inspiration that empowers movements, dreams. The simple definition of the word hope is a feeling or expectation or desire for a certain thing to happen. Hope is what is needed to help those who are struggling, to help those to turn a page. Hope is what is needed when a child unexpectedly loses a parent, or when a parent loses a child at any age. Hope is what is needed when you've received a bad prognosis. Hope is what is needed when a relationship crumbles. Hope is what is needed when you feel alone and perhaps uncared for. And sometimes the things that we hope for doesn't always show up exactly the way we had hoped. For those of you who know me, know that I sometimes will tell those little anecdotal stories about my parents and my childhood. My parents were married for over 50 years, and it was a difficult relationship. My father spent most of his life in prison on 2 long stretches of time. On the second stretch, over 16 years, my mother had waited many years for my father, and I had this hope that he would be released and they would be together and spend their lives, the latter part of their lives together, enjoying each other and enjoying their children and grandchildren. But my father would be ultimately released, but it would be 3 months before his death. The governor released him on a compassionate release. He had cancer. So my mom and my dad were able to spend 3 months together, and then he passed away. This wasn't the hope that I'd hoped for. This wasn't the vision that I saw. I thought they would spend many years. The relationship, like again I said, the relationship was difficult. My dad wasn't the kind of man that would bring gifts home. He never gave my mom a wedding gift, an anniversary gift, a Christmas gift, and I wanted desperately for my father to provide something before he left this earth. As it would turn out, a cousin called my mom and said, well, my father had worked construction for many years and he had worked for the union for many years. Why don't you call and see if there's some benefits? I don't think my dad ever knew he had anything, and my mom never even thought about it, but she called. And sure enough, there was quite a bit of money that was there. That was the redeeming gift that really helped our family. That to know that in the end, there was something there for my mom. There was something that really helped her. Now, it wasn't the image that I had imagined, what I hoped for, but it sure was redemptive. Hope is what is needed when there's no picture of tomorrow, when there's no view of tomorrow. And if I've learned anything, I understand the importance of hope. Christian minister and theologian Charles Swindoll wrote, "Hope is something as important to us as water is to a fish, as vital as electricity is to a light bulb, as essential as air is to a jumbo jet. Hope is basic to life. Without that needed spark of hope, we are doomed to a dark, grim existence." How often the word hopeless appears in suicide notes. And even if it isn't written, we can read it between the lines. Take away our hope and our world is reduced to something between depression and despair. Hope is more than wishful thinking. End quote. We all have dreams and hopes. We have hope for a future, a hope for positive outcomes in the lives of those close to us and for our own health and well-being. But also a hope for what the world one day may become, what it should become. Christian scriptures teach us, without a vision, the people perish. As we deal with the new normal that is COVID-19, let us have hope that our nation's leaders, scientists, doctors, and others will soon find solutions to the crisis that we all face. Let us hope that our mothers, fathers, grandparents, children will all be safe and remain healthy. And those who are not well will recover. But let us also have hope for those who will not recover, that their legacies will not pass away and their voices will not be silent. Memories of them will live on as long as those who are alive and love them can tell their stories. Let us have hope that the stories that will be written will be of our shared hope, how together we overcame one of the greatest challenges our world has ever faced. And as a result, we forged ahead into a brighter tomorrow. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings a tune without words and never stops at all. Let us pray. Holy One, grant us thy wisdom, thy favor, and thy healing grace as we seek understanding. Grant us hope in the time of despair, love in the time of fear. Give peace to those who suffer, strength to those who have borne the battle and are weary. To those on the front lines, give them hope and a vision of good outcomes, that they know that their work is not in vain. And Spirit, bring us together, that we might be one, that we might be strengthened for the journey that still lies ahead. And for this, we give you the glory.